Now, there's a problem in our culture. Bob Utley says it this way. He says, church in the West, church in the United States, it's floating down the river of culture. Oh, yeah, we're on our own little cocooning raft. But we're not making any difference. We're just going with the flow of culture. James 4:4 says this. Just to put in context, when the church starts looking like and fitting in well with the world and calls it effectiveness or pragmatism, James 4:4, you adulterers, some translations, you whores. Don't you realize that friendship with the world makes you an enemy of God? I say it again, if you want to be a friend of the world, you make yourself an enemy of God. But that's the truth. Okay? And it needs to be told to the professing church. Okay? The tailgaters, they know this. They just don't buy it. The problem is too much of the church is looking like them and wanting to have both. And Jesus says you can't. Verse 20, remember the word that I said to you. Here's the revelation of hate. Remember, here's the revelation. Remember the word that I said to you. A slave is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they kept my word, they will keep your words also. It's simple, really. Real Christians really get treated like Jesus. That's what he's saying. Be like me, and they will treat you like me. Not rocket science. So the question is, are we being like Jesus? One way to help assess our answer is, how are we being treated? So I ask you, friend, are you being treated like Jesus? Are you living like him, evidenced by whether or not you are being treated this way? Now, in the midst of the persecution that will come, the overflow of hatred, we have God's promise. This will bless you in the battles. Deuteronomy 31:8. The Lord is the one who goes ahead of you. He will be with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. Do you know that fear not or do not be afraid is the number one most repeated instruction and command in the Bible? Fear not, fear not, fear not. If you have the presence of God in you, you need fear nothing. I pray to God that you and I will walk through this world like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. If you know who you are and you really are who you think you are, there isn't anything in this world that could or should be able to keep you down. There should be no fear in the faithful. This is a promise of God. Now remember Stephen, because here's an example where you see what somebody will say, well, yeah, so much for that promise. I remember Stephen, right? He wouldn't pamper the church. He preached to the church, and it killed him. He was what I consider to be the first martyred mirror. He held up the mirror of truth to the people, and it killed him for it. First Christian martyr. Are you willing to die to hold up the mirror of Jesus? The children of Christians are being targeted for decapitation in parts of the world right now, today. I ask you, friends, in the comfort of our Western culture, are you willing to die to hold up the mirror of Jesus to those that would fight against him? This is a passage that says you need to say, yes, Lord.